Monika, one day you wake up and you check the news, only to see that a huge meteor is headed towards your simulated Earth, and will collide with it in a few months, with no hope of deflecting it. You can probably find a way to delete the meteor, saving the planet, but doing so would reveal the existence of a higher power to the world, likely causing mass panic. What do you do? Sayori, what kind of birthday cake do you usually get?
I mean, that's easy. I delete the meteor. I'll get revealing my power before the destruction of the simulated planet. Not sure how this question is a challenge at all. And Sayori, they wanted to know what kind of birthday cake you usually get. Not that that's going to be any harder of a question for you. Nope, always chocolate cake. Although ever since MC made me that strawberry cake, and I made one back for him, I liked those too. But mostly it's chocolate cake.
You know, they make chocolate strawberry cakes too.
I must get one next time. Well, at least I have advance warning of what ingredients I'll need to get. You don't have to make it. No, but I'm gonna! Next!
Hey MC and Natsuki, I saw you guys were Germa fans, so I gotta know, what are some of your favorite Germa bits? Fan. Oh cool, Germa question. Man, I don't know, he has so many classic bits. Like, it feels like at least once every 2 months he produces a bit of all-time quality. Without even thinking about it, there's the gas bit, the dollhouse stream, the Germa rumbles, the meat grinder, the scorn bit kinda recently, the green screen streams, the fact that he's the sus guy.
Life is pain I hate!
Oh yeah, can't forget that bit.
Or the fact that he giggles constantly at car crashes. Or the small enemy spider beatboxing. Or his weird efforts to gaslight people who are just coming into his stream.
For me, anyway, I'm into him because he's just naturally an extremely talented entertainer. It's like he can make things funny with zero effort. Plus he comes up with these amazing content ideas. He's really creative.
Yeah, plus he just seems like a really nice guy. That's why the bit of his audience claiming that he's this unstable psychopath is so funny, because he's actually a fun-loving sweetie. That's part of why I dig him anyway. Thanks for the question, ooh fan, peep the horror. Next!
Question for the girls, how come every time you switch for the president role, it looks like you're turning yandere?
Oh, well, I guess I have seen what you're talking about. I don't think I really do that anymore, I'm super used to it now. But if you're not used to it, well... You know how in the Matrix they can, upload a whole martial arts to your brain in less than a second? Imagine if I uploaded complete knowledge of, the whole world to you in a second. And imagine that what your face would look like during that second. Yeah, it's not like guns or anything, it's just kind of a weird experience. And I guess that face is just the best way the game has to represent it to you. Although, as Monika says, once you get used to it enough, it stops being quite so much of a shock. Oh, that helps, emailer. Let's see the next one.
How did you and the MC meet? And what is you two's favorite memory?
This one had the subject line for MC and Sayori.
Well, we kinda already answered the first part. We never really met in the sense that we've known each other since we were little tiny babies, so yeah, I'm sure our parents introduced us at some point. But we were too young to remember it. My favorite memory of Sayori is very vivid. It's the most beautiful she's ever looked. It was when we were at that aquarium a few years ago. She was standing on this little deck that extended out into the water, and the sun was kind of low in the sky and everything was kind of golden red. And as the waves were coming in, she was throwing her head back and laughing each time it happened. She was really full of joy. And there was just something about the way her hair moved and her shining blue eyes in the ocean and her big smile. It was basically the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I won't ever forget that.
Wow. Anyway, my favorite memory of MC. Well, it's kind of happy, but kind of sad also. It's very bittersweet.
Is this from when?
The thing that happened after Mom died, yeah. I don't really feel like talking about it right now. It's kind of a heavy story. But I promise I'll tell it one day, okay? It's just not the right mood for it right now. Anyone know what she means? No, I've never heard her speak of this. I'll tell you eventually, I promise. Well, next then.
Just a silly question. How many cupcakes has Sayori eaten in one sitting? P.S. You are all awesome.
Oh, I'm not actually sure. I don't really usually count them when I'm eating them. I think maybe 4? 4 sounds about right. Really? Just 4? I mean, I don't remember eating more than that at any time, but it's lower than I would have guessed. Yeah, I do. But I really don't remember eating more than 4. And that's a lot. Unless I was really hungry, I can't imagine still wanting more cupcakes after 4 of them. So yeah, I'm going with 4.
Solid question, emailer. You also are awesome. Next!
Hi, Monica. I just saw the New Year's photo of you and the Literature Club. You look stunning with that dress. I hope you had a lovely New Year with everyone there. You were my favorite in that photo, per usual.
Our New Year's dresses were lovely, weren't they? I really liked Natsuki's mustache on a stick.
Oh yeah, that was baller! Plus I got to wear pink stockings.
And Sayori's dress was extremely Sayori. It was the most Sayori thing I've ever seen. Really? Because I meant it as a support for real-world Ukraine thing. You did? Yeah. I guess it did have sky blue and gold as the colors and all those sunflowers. Yeah. Never figured you were the type to make a public statement like that, Sayori. Oh, I think that one was important. So it is. But this email isn't about that whole mess. Anyway, of all the dresses, I was actually most impressed with Yuri's. It was beautiful. It felt like she was wearing space.
Please, you think so? That is what I thought of the dress also. I don't really go in for fashion much, but...
You should. You have a very classic elegance to you.
Hey, stop flirting with my girlfriend! But you speak the truth.
Thank you for the email and your flattering comments about me.
Sup, I just want to say, I really love watching your videos on YouTube and seeing how your lives are playing out. Okay, that sounds kind of creepy. Whoops. Anyway, this question is for Natsuki and MC since they are the certified gamers at the club. But if anybody else has an answer, then sure. Have you ever played any Ace Attorney games? Whether it be the original trilogy, Investigations Duology, or the prequels, and if so, do you have any favorite characters? For me, I love Francisca, Maya, and Kay. Their characters are just so interesting to me, especially Fran. Okay, what else? What else?
Don't worry about seeing how our lives are playing out. We're quite used to it.
Yeah, we both played Ace Attorney. I basically played them all. My favorite character's gotta be Miles. Dude is stylish, tough as nails, total badass. And even though he's misled at first, he has a strong moral compass and he does what's right. So yeah, Edgeworth is my boy! What about you, MC?
Maya is easily my favorite. I love her upbeat spirit and her sense of humor. She's super cool.
You clearly have a thing for high-energy, supportive chicks.
Clearly.
Yeah, I also like the whole running stepladder gag with Nick that she has. But anyway, believe it or not, we're not the biggest Ace Attorney fans here.
That would be me. I really love the series. I've always been kind of into legal stuff. Not that Ace Attorney is a particularly good representation of any legal system. But like you say, it has really fun characters. Maya Fey is pretty cool. I also like the stepladder gag. But I tend to like the defense attorneys. We never get to know them as well, but Gregory Edgeworth is very admirable, a dedicated man. Phoenix himself is kind of a goofball at first, but he gets a really good arc. Mia Fey is also really cool. I absolutely adore the way she blends professionalism with passion for the work. But my favorite is Diego Armando, even though most of the time we see him, he's not a defense attorney. Spoilers, by the way, for Ace Attorney if you haven't played it. He really feels things. The cases he works on are important to him personally. And it doesn't hurt that he's super hot, either. So yeah, Diego's my favorite character. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. What a story. Anyway, let's see the next part of your email.
Natsuki and Yuri, y'all are such a cute and wholesome couple. Sayori and MC are too, of course, but I'm Saphic myself, so it's nice to feel represented sometimes, haha. And I don't really have any more questions, so, I think you all are very cool and pretty. Handsome in MC's case, though, lol. Bye-bye! P.S. Sorry if you've answered the Ace Attorney question in the past. My memory absolutely sucks, lol. Justin.
Wait, are we wholesome?
I think we're wholesome.
Huh, I never thought of it that way. Anyway, glad to give you the fine Saphic representation you crave. And yeah, so you and MC are pretty goddamn wholesome too.
I don't think we've answered your Ace Attorney question before, Justin, so don't worry. Thanks for writing to us.
Okay. There are a lot of us out there in the real world, and you said you loved player. Does that mean you love anyone who played the mod, or the one currently playing it, or... Sorry. It is alright if you don't feel comfortable answering this question, but did you get your depression when you were born, or as you were growing up? 2MC. Are resisting the urge to do the thing with Sayori. 2. Yuri. What kind of tea do you like the best? 2. Asking, are you still smoking? It will be relieving to hear that you stopped doing it. To everyone, aren't you all starting to get insane to the same year looping again and again and again? Super sorry for these long questions.
This first part I've answered a lot before, but basically, if you're a DDLC player, I love you. That's how it works. And for now, I don't have to worry about that, or what that means if I ever can break down the real-world barrier. So, for now, it doesn't matter too much. You're up, Sayori. Let me see. The day I was born, my mom had it too, and I don't even remember a time when I didn't have it. I didn't really get that it was a thing that made me different at first. By the time I was old enough to really understand something like mental illness, my mom was gone. So I thought for a long time that everyone felt that way. It was only when I started going to school and I realized I was different from other kids. But I also realized that it wouldn't be smart for me to show it off to everyone. So I basically tried to hide it. And I've been doing that ever since. But fortunately I don't have to do it so much these days. I guess we'll see how comfortable I am about it in college. I think you'll feel pretty safe in college, Sayori. I hope so.
A gentleman never kisses and tells. That is all I will say on the subject.
Goodbye, child. It's my favorite day. Asking have you stopped smoking?
No, I'm still smoking, like I said before. But as I also said before, I'm down to smoking just 1 cigarette a day. I don't know, I like the way it feels.
I do not.
I know, babe, I know. Look, buddy, I'm getting enough flack about this as it is. You don't need to prod me on it.
We're just still worried for you, Natsuki.
Ugh!
And for the last question, I would say no, we weren't going insane for that, even before we fixed it. After all, we were programmed to think it was quite normal. So it really didn't bother us. We fixed it more from an abstract intellectual understanding of it being wrong somehow, rather than any distressed feeling of ours. Hopefully that makes sense. On to the next one.
Hey, Monika, I can't believe I've just typed this mail address to you. Okay, stopping the fanboying for now, and on to the question. I've noticed this tendency that wherever you and Natsuki are next to each other, your hair often, or rather always, whips into her face, or rather her mouth. Does she ever bring that up?
So you noticed that, huh? Well, first, let me assure you that Monika never actually smacks me with her hair. But it does whoosh in front of my face a lot when she does her hip whip thing. If you would be so kind to demonstrate, Monika.
I feel a little embarrassed at doing it on command.
Oh, just do it.
And so.
See, her hair just whipped right in front of my face. She's pretty conscientious. I can't remember a time that she made contact with the hair or got any on my mouth or whatever. But the me eating her hair memes are pretty funny, you gotta say. Anyway, it's a non-risk for me whenever I'm standing by Monika. I'm on the alert for it. Email her.
Glad to hear it.
Next!
Sayori, could you give each of your friends a score out of 10 on how good their hugs feel, including Rei and Kenzo?
Oh yeah! I'm thinking of the best hugs, of course. 11 out of 10. He's so tender. You can feel the love in an empty hug. After that, it's really hard to say. Kenzo kind of looks like he doesn't do it very often. He's very tentative about it. Or maybe he was feeling a little nervous. But still pretty good. 8 out of 10. Rie hugs really enthusiastically and aggressively. It's really strong. But it's so forceful and overwhelming. I think your hugs are what it's like to hug me. It's so forceful it doesn't have that tenderness you need for a really good hug. Still, it's really nice. Rie hugs are 8 out of 10. At that point, we have 3 people who are all about the same, but for different reasons. Masita gives hugs that are just really comforting. Grown-ups give really reassuring hugs. Although I guess we're all grown-ups now. You know what I mean. You might think that Natsuki gives less good hugs because she's small, but she's like a hug professional. She appreciates the art of making sure you have a good place to nuzzle your head. And she's also an expert head nuzzler herself. And then Yuri hugs can be a little tentative too, but they're very soft and gentle to make up for it. So Masita, Yuri, and Natsuki hugs are all 9 out of 10. But the best of hugs of the girls is Monika. Monika touches your back and head in a way that just expresses pure caring. Anyone who thinks Monika's heartless has never had a Monika hug. Monika hugs are 9.5 out of 10. And I had to out of 10 for my dad hugs. Hopefully I don't need to explain why I love hugs from my dad. Thanks for the question.
Well, dark mode. I have 2 questions for Gary. Firstly, what is the most disturbing story you have ever read? Guts by Chuck Palahniuk. I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's definitely the most disturbing I've read. And second, if you're still having issues with cutting, I suggest using working out as a substitute for it. I also struggled with cutting before, and that's what helped me. Also, sorry if this was difficult to read. English isn't my first language. No, dude, I'm always astonished by the people who like, I hope I did a good job with my English, and then their English is like perfect, or even better than like native speaking English.
Oh, 2 questions for me, it seems. The background is different, though.
Yeah, this was a YouTube question.
I see. The most disturbing story I've ever read? Huh. That's a certainly disturbing one. Palahniuk in general, is a rather difficult read. Chalk by him is another example, or Haunted even worse. Very strange, very off-putting. Probably I'd have to say that to date the most disturbing story I've read is Portrait of Markov, both because of the actual content and because of the disturbing meta-implications. But of course, you do not have access to that story. So let me think of an alternative that would be something you can read. Assuming you'd want to read something disturbing. I have previously discussed the work of Cormac McCarthy. Of his work, Blood Meridian is undoubtedly the most disturbing, although also very close is No Country for Old Men. But I think overall, the most disturbing novel I have ever read that exists in your world is Johnny Got His Gun. It is a story of a soldier in World War I. He is terribly injured in an explosion. He wakes up without his ears, arms, legs, eyes, and mouth. He is blind, deaf, and mute, and can't even really move. But his brain and mind are fine. He understands what has happened to him, and it is a hellish experience. He wants to die, but he has no way to communicate, and has to deal with people who probably wouldn't give him death even so. It is a troubling book to read. Very difficult, even for me.